Carmageddon is here. We has finally reached it. The bottom is here on the car market, but is it really? How do we find out if we can still make money flipping cars? I'm going to show you how, so stick around. If you want to learn more on how to flip cars regardless of what the market is doing, then hit that like button and subscribe. My name's Danny, and today we're going to deep dive into how can I make money still with what's going on in the Carmageddon world. Up, down, sideways, there's always opportunities in car flipping. I'm not teaching you theory here or something that I'm speculating. I'm showing you the truth. I'm showing you exactly what's going on in the market and that you can still do your car flipping, capitalize, and move forward. We live in a completely different world than we did back in 2008, and although we can still learn from 2008 and what happened, I'm not claiming to be an expert here. Let's use some common sense. We live in an age where communication we have at an instant. Consumer reaction is going to be much quicker. If you are looking for cars to flip and you're nervous about reselling that car and whether or not the bottom is going to drop out, if you buy a car at $5,000 and it's going to be worth $1,000 in a matter of days, it's not going to happen. This is not how this works. The perception that media and a lot of people are giving, because that's what gets eyeballs on the screen. We're going to talk a little bit about the market so you can understand it a little bit more, but I want you to understand that you can still make money on this market because not a lot of people are talking about how, as a car flipper or as a dealer, how are you still making money? I want you to get a full picture of what's going on. So let's deep dive into this. Here's what I wanted to show you that I found last week while I was creating content for YouTube. You can tell right away, for 144,000 miles, a Honda Civic, even though it's a 2006, I know these are very popular and it's very difficult to find something with this kind of mileage. Typically, they're 200,000 miles plus, and they're beat to heck. I just knew it was a deal to be had just because I look for cars so much. And literally, this takes me less than 2 minutes on my phone. And right here, we can already see that even trade-in value at $2,500, make $1,000 just taking it over to CarMax or one of these places, one of these franchises, and getting this much money for the car and make $1,000 like that really quick. But I guarantee you a dealer is going to look at that car and say, I'm going to give you $1,000 for it because of the headliner sagging. So this is a perfect candidate to put in a little bit of TLC and get it turned around for good money. So what kind of money are we looking at here? We're looking at $4,900. Now, to get back to how I negotiated this deal, talk to the guy, wonderful person, and he tells me $2,000. How could I say no to that? I shook his hand, gave him the $2,000, got the title, drove it home. It drove perfectly fine. The car is in decent shape. It just needed a really good cleaning up. On my next video, I'm going to show you the results of what I got with this car as far as the cleaning and how beautiful it looks now. And currently, as I'm making this video, I'm waiting for I took the headliner out. I watched the video on how to take this headliner out. I wasn't sure. I broke a couple clips. I went on MapQuest and on my maps on my phone, and I looked up upholstery shops. There was one right down the road, and I was going to buy the fabric, do it myself, but I asked the guy, really nice owner of the place. I asked the guy, hey, listen, this is probably something you don't really do, or I don't know if it's worth your time, but if I bring it down here, if I bring the headliner down here all cleaned up and ready to go, would you be able to cover it for me, and how much would you charge me? $150. Done. Out the door. Just waiting on that. Already cleaned, buffed out. The car looks brand spanking new. I'll give you the end result next week when this car is sold. Blackbook.com is an excellent resource for you so that on a weekly basis you can see what's going on in the car market. I've presented it before in some of my previous videos. I welcome you to go check them out so you can learn a little bit more about what's going on and how do you react to this. Either I can learn from it and move forward, or I can look at it, be chaotic, get stressed out, and get stuck. That's sometimes where I felt in the past. You've got to look a little bit deeper and saying, what is it that I really want to do? And not only come up with the conclusion of what you want to do as far as making money on flipping cars as an example, but how do I get there? Form a plan and start executing, because you're not going to learn without having practice. We have to look at this, okay, where are our opportunities going to be, and what is it that makes sense right now that's happening in the market? The truth of the matter is, find the resources that give you good quality content, and that's what I really want to give out, because I can see past all of this. People are handing out crutches right now. And what I mean by that is it's a double-edged sword with communication nowadays. The type of communication that's being given to us, or that we're consuming on a daily basis, that's being put in front of our faces, is something that handicaps us sometimes. And I'm only saying that because I've been through it. I'm not talking down to you. I'm really just from experience. Personally, I went through the whole situation in 2008. I was a real estate agent. I also did mortgages, and I was one of the ethical ones. I was one of the ones that would turn away people because they didn't qualify for double or triple the amount that other people were qualifying them, and I wasn't willing to participate in that. I had no idea how to move forward, and I was just caught up in everything that was going on in the economy, where I missed out on a lot of opportunity, and I bounced around from job to job, career to career, until finally in 2020 I said, to hell with this. I want to be happy, and I want to do what I want to do in life. I don't want others to control how I'm feeling or what I'm doing and the success that I have. But the success that I have comes with those failures, and it comes with everything else. And that's one of the number one things that I have learned as an entrepreneur. You have really got to take ownership over your whole life situation. Jack Canfield writes an excellent book on the success principles, and that's one of the books that really changed my outlook on life. I highly recommend it. I'll leave it in the description below, because if it's something that interests you as far as self-development, that's what I'm into, but I'm also about execution. Let's get these plans into action, and let's start making money. Let's start creating the life that we want. This is ending on October 15th, so we're halfway through the month again. We're halfway through the month last month, and I showed you these numbers, and it continues to drop. But you can see it's a little less on the truck and SUV segment. Now let's think logically. We're hitting the last quarter of the year, and there are a lot of areas where you get snow and you get that kind of weather. So naturally, it's always been a very cyclical type of market when it comes to that. So come on, people, let's just think logically here. That's why there's a little bit less of an impact on that one than there is on the regular car segments. Although I will tell you, with gas prices, you're always going to see less of an impact on there on compact and subcompact cars. Now we're going to look at the wholesale weekly price index. What we're looking at here is the full year, right? By week. It has always, even looking back at 2019 here, that blue line right here, there has always historically, and you can look at every single line here, historically around this time of year, with the exception of 2021, we have a couple of different things happening in the economy right now. Interest rates are being affected. We're looking at gas prices, the stock market. There are multiple things working against the economy right now, and no one really knows what's going to happen, what this is going to turn out to be. We can only speculate and kind of have a guesstimate based on history. But what I can tell you is, yes, the car market is normalizing, and we can see it right here as far as where we're landing with car prices. As far as the new car market, that is a whole nother animal within itself, because they're going through a transition right now. The transition that dealerships are going through right now with the new car market inventory is quite interesting. But I want to focus on used cars, because that's where we make money as flippers. On the next video, I'm going to show you all of the results that we had on this Honda Civic and how much profit we made. If you want to learn more on how to flip cars regardless of what the market is doing, then hit that like button and subscribe.